I'm Broc,
I'm Trisha,
and this is Fast Lane Living.
because life doesn't slow down. Hey, welcome.
Hey, this is it, episode 7, Fast Lane
7.
Living.
Right?
7's a lucky number.
It is. That was my number in all my favorites.
Nice. You know, when I'm rolling dice, man,
7.
sometimes I'll roll a single dice and be like, 7!
So is a single dice called a die?
Oh, well, this kind of sounds violent.
That's what I thought. I'm like,
Trisha didn't bring anger to the group, but
No,
maybe
but-
she did.
we just jumped right into that, didn't we?
Yeah. Well, hey, guys, thanks for
Anyway.
listening.
Welcome.
Yeah,
Welcome
yeah.
to Fast Lane Living.
Yeah.
Let's get a
So,
little
what did we
glimpse.
talk about last week, babe?
What did we talk about last week? Well, we talked about having a soon-to-be graduate who is now a graduate.
He has graduated since then.
Yes, he is officially a high school and a couple weeks back,
Yeah, a couple weeks
graduate from college
back. Yeah.
with an associate's degree.
Yep,
So-
knocking them down.
Yeah, we're really proud of him. It was a pretty cool experience. First one, oldest one. I have to say,
The
I
kid,
didn't cry as much as I thought I was going to cry at the graduation. But I was like more nervous. Sorry,
Yeah.
my nose itches.
in the car world, Brock would, our son's name is Brock as well.
Yeah.
We would consider him a sleeper
Yeah.
because
Yeah. That's a good
he
way to put it.
doesn't talk much about what he's got going on. It's just kind of
Yeah.
he does some big cool things, and he's just kind of like doesn't say much
He's
about
pretty
it at all.
nonchalant about it.
Very much so. And so it's like some of these things are so unexpected, and then all of a sudden the end of the school year this year is like just cool thing after cool thing after cool thing. And it was like, man, everything you've done and all your hard work
So much.
throughout your high school career has like came to fruition right here. And yeah, so it was great. So we get to graduation, and we got a little bit of word, I think a day before graduation,
Yeah, it's like a day or two. It wasn't much.
from principal called Trish and lets her know that our son had won the citizenship award. And I think there's one boy and one girl senior
Yep.
that get chosen for the citizenship award.
Yep.
And we knew he got that a few weeks ago at the scholarship night,
Yep.
but we didn't know anything about it. I didn't
No.
know anything about
No,
it.
I had never heard of it before. It was, we had scholarship night where the school and any of the local, they have like the local VFWs and chambers of commerce or different things that will give to different students at the school. So they do scholarships for him. And so he got that award that night with some scholarship money.
And it was the first award. They were just like,
Yeah.
okay, everybody, we're going to get started. And they were like, Brock, and then so-and-so, come on up. And it was like, and we're
Right.
like, okay, don't really know. I didn't know anything about it at the time. Did you?
No, I didn't know anything about.
I've never heard of that
I've never
before.
heard of it.
And
No.
so then also when you say it, some people are like, oh, wow.
Oh,
And you're like, what do you mean, wow? Like, you know about this? Because
didn't.
I didn't know about
Maybe
this.
because I wasn't like a big scholarship recipient.
Right. I didn't get those in juvenile hall when I was in middle school and high school. They didn't send them there.
Yeah, right. And both of our experiences were totally not
No,
his experience.
no, not at all.
Right. We didn't go the same path. I'm not going to say we both had our moments. Neither one of us were, we weren't the worst. We weren't the best.
Oh, no, you know what?
Yeah.
You're just
Right.
doing life. It's school, and
Right.
it was kind of
Right.
take it for what it is. And
We gave our parents a little run for the money.
yeah.
We both had our
I
moments.
spent some of my
Yeah.
younger years getting in some trouble. I won't get into
Yeah.
specifics, but
That's-
nothing
we can maybe
like
talk
violent or
about that.
anything like that. Just like to steal stuff.
Yeah.
As a child. But the greatest part about all that is I
Yes.
learned from it.
Well, that's the thing.
I learned from it, and I did all my messing
Right.
around, and I even spent a little time in the little juvenile detention center, and
Yeah.
all that was when I was pre-18, right? And I learned, and I didn't like it there.
Well, that's a good thing.
I went there, and I was like, the people in there and everything, and this is not my place. I got to mind my P's and Q's and get the hell out of here as quick as I can. And I did, and it worked. And I learned
There you
from it,
go.
and guess what? I
Right.
don't do that stuff anymore.
Well, that's a thing. If you're gonna mess up, doing it
Oh, right.
pre-18 or
Yeah, and it wasn't
and then learning from it
right.
is the.
Well,
I
I didn't
don't
learn the first time, but I did learn the
Right.
second time.
And I never expected or thought I deserved by any means a kid who was going to be rule follower and not really. I don't think we've I have gotten calls from the principal only for good things.
Right. He's a rule
Right.
follower to the max. I
Yeah.
mean, I think as he's
It's
getting a little older now,
invincible.
it's kind of he'll like
He'll
flex a little
start,
bit.
yeah, he's starting to
Oh,
understand some of the, I think, the
tell him
realities
about
of
that.
life.
Tell him how wild he went at graduation with his.
He wore his, I always forget what
So
they
yeah,
call him,
let's like call it a sash thing, and it says NH.
because he was NHS president. So they all get sashes, and or at least I don't know what you call them, cabinet, I guess, get sashes when they're
So
inducted.
so and when so
Yeah.
to put this where I understand it is like everyone wears their graduate outfit,
Yep.
whatever color the school has, and then some of these people that have NHS or what else is
The
there?
other ones there was another, it was like an international student society or something, or
Sure.
like
So
some kind of multicultural student
yep.
society. And then there were the kids that were going into any military services.
Right. So all these different groups would have like an extra little collar deal hanging
yeah.
over their neck
Yep.
and hanging down. And so there was a little deal the day before graduation where I don't know, it was something
There was
about
some
another
kind of
club had wanted to
controversy.
do them, and since they couldn't do them, the NHS was not allowed to wear them, and it was like,
Yeah.
why are you getting in on this? I'm not even sure all the details.
Yeah, I don't
So
know
our
what it was all
rule
about.
follower of a kid,
Yes.
he was not supposed to wear this yellow colored deal while he
Yeah.
walked at graduation because the other group wasn't supposed to wear them, whatever. Well,
Right.
god dang it. This kid worked hard. He has worked so hard. I'm nose to the grindstone, right? For years. For him to not wear that, it's like I think that was the first time I've ever seen him. He
Like
defied
kind
that
of
rule.
buck against the system a
He
little
wore
bit.
it. He wore it, and
he
we
ended up
watched him
wearing it.
walk up, and he was able to graduate wearing that, doing the thing, and it was like, dude, look at you. You bucked against the system, and he doesn't normally do it. So
He
like,
doesn't.
I thought that was cool because in life you definitely have to buck the system, right? You got to stand up for yourself.
Sometimes, well, and I think and we've always tried, more than anything, I've always tried to teach the kids to advocate for themselves.
Yeah.
Like, you have to advocate for yourself.
Yep, no one else is going to.
People aren't, especially when you're a kid, your parents advocate, and that's our job, right? I feel like part of our job is to advocate for your kids until you don't have to. And part of your job is to teach them how to do it
pass that torch
right?
on to
Like,
them.
pass that torch, So
Handle
it
situations,
was
how
kind
to
of
just
nice
do life.
to see him. And I don't know, right, wrong, different. It was, I agree. It was nice to see him kind of advocate for himself and kind of stand up for like, well, you know what? I don't necessarily believe that this is a rule that I need to follow. But it was an amazing graduation. We did get called up on stage.
Oh, right. So that's what I was getting at the beginning here. What was the award called?
The Citizenship Award.
The Citizenship Award. And so the principal called us and told us
Right.
that we were going to get pulled up on stage as part of our recognition or something, right? And I had this whole speech prepared.
Oh, wait. Pretty soon after you're guys are listening.
I was like,
I won't have to tell you all the time
I'm
because
ready.
you'll just know that he is full of shit.
I just like to have fun and make people laugh. So if you're laughing, enjoy it.
I love it.
If you don't like my voice, just take out your left earbud. It'll just be Trisha's voice at that point.
I wonder, is that how that works?
I don't think so.
We should try it sometime.
I mean, you don't want to miss a minute of the show, so you're probably not going to give it a try.
Right. We should try it sometime, like talk at different times and then play it back and figure it out.
Yeah, I'm assuming Cletus McFarland's joined in after that day one we mentioned him. He's probably full bore on track, or maybe just going back through the episodes now. So
he's catching up still.
At this point, it's probably midsummer 2025 for you. Just want to say, hey, you're doing good things. Yeah, so we get called up on.
Yeah. So
anyway, wow. Yeah.
Squirrel. We get called up on stage at graduation. And I think, that was probably a part of my excessive nervousness of being there, as I knew that was going to happen at some point.
Yeah. Yeah. And so then we look in the program and it's like, the fourth thing to happen. And it was like, okay, so we're like, the one thing's happening. Okay, that's the first thing. Okay, then there's, and in this room, in the gym, right, there's the whole floor is covered with people, all of the bleachers all the way around covered with people. I think there could have been 2,000 people in there, maybe 1,500. There was a lot
of people.
There was no open room.
There was no open room.
Nope.
Yeah, it was packed. And then there was extra people in like the auditorium area.
In the theater.
Yeah.
Yep. So they had the full theater for that.
And they called us up on stage and
Well,
We,
the
you
other
know,
people
shook her
went
hand.
first.
Yeah, the gal who got
Yep, the
chosen.
gal got chosen, and all of a sudden her and their family got called up first, and so we were like, okay, we get to see like what happens here. What are we up
Yeah.
against?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was yeah, it wasn't too long, which is nice. There was no speech needed, which is also nice.
Oh, I had to put that
I
away.
think I would have had to you probably would have had to give the speech because I think I would have had a harder time doing that.
Oh, it'd have been easy.
Um I mean, I know what
It's
I would
just
want to say,
been
but
like talking to these nice folks.
right.
Except for you got 1,500 faces looking at you.
Yeah, and then and
See, for
the
me,
subject would have been pretty sensitive
see,
too.
for me, I need like the reaction out of people. If everybody's stone cold all the way around, I'm like, maybe I need to jazz this up a little. I'm out of here. Like if everyone is just stone cold looking at you. Yeah. So we
Yeah.
went up there, and it was
Uh,
like, you go up there, and we stood on each side of him, and we looked out to just a sea of people. It was wild. And okay, so the funny part is there was like a partition down the middle. Is that what you call it? Where there's an aisle row.
yeah, I
So
guess I
I
don't
thought there
yeah.
was going to be a camera person down there, like right at the bottom, right?
Right.
So these people go up on the stage and they kind of stand together, like, geez,
Like look out at the crowd like there's going to
yeah,
be
yeah.
no camera
There
person
was nobody down there, and
just
so we kind
yeah.
of like get up on stage
Uh,
and we all like, okay,
okay,
like look
thanks,
out, and
bye.
I was like, no idea how long we should stand still
Right.
for. Yeah.
Yep, no clue. No clue
So
what that was supposed to
yep. And so then all
be
of a sudden it was like,
or
all right, let's head out,
okay.
and then like the whole way back to our seat, right? I'm
Oh
6'2",
my gosh.
and Trish is
2.
5'2". I'm just gonna give you 5'3".
And I was wearing heels.
At the time, she was 5'3".
Probably 5'4".
Oh,
And
and
so Brock starts walking
I got
at
nervous.
Mach 17 back to the seats because it didn't come with like you would think it would come with I don't know, seats like that they reserve for you,
Oh
but it
yeah,
didn't come with seats that they reserve for you. So we got there pretty early and we got decent
yeah.
seats. They weren't
We got
bad.
seats where we could get out
Easily.
easily. It was
Right. It was right by the
actually a
aisle.
seat of 3 for us and
And
our
there was
daughter.
right. Yeah. And so that worked out perfect, but it still wasn't, we still had a little bit of a walk to get up to the stage. And he was walking so fast. I was trying so hard to keep up with him. And
I
I was
think on
like,
the
you
way
gotta
there we
slow
walked at the
down.
same pace because
Yeah.
it was kind of like walking like, yeah, what's
Yep.
up? How you doing?
Yep.
Saw a couple people we know. We're
Right.
like, dude, they're looking at me. I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I didn't get that much recognition at my own graduation.
No, and they called his name out 4 times during the graduation on this
Yeah,
microphone.
for
One of them was when they
different things.
graduate, right? They call your name
Sure, yeah.
when you walk across the stage.
Yeah.
Another one, this hot kid was giving a speech, and he had mentioned something about Brock writing a song for the band and them all playing it.
Yeah.
He was talking about like big events and big things that happen throughout the year. So it was like one of 3 big events for the school for the year. And it
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
how crazy is that?
It was pretty impressive. He did he composed an entire song for the band, for the
Right?
entire band, not just for one instrument. But he composed an entire piece for
Yep.
the entire band and they
Yeah,
played
so
it at their concert.
yeah, this spring
So
concert. It was
it
the
was
last
really neat.
concert of the year. The whole band
Yeah.
took it on themselves to learn it, and it sounds like it was a tricky one to learn too. So they all took it on and they nailed it. Right? They just nailed that. So it was fun to see. And even the principal had said that was probably the funnest or the best concert that they had had at the school ever.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that was it was so yeah, I don't know. I'm in awe. It's kind of weird to be in awe of your own child.
Yeah.
I'm super proud of and he's put in the work. I watch him and he works hard. Like right now he's doing a theater program thing for
It's way above and beyond. It's like
yeah,
a
he pretty much
spotlight.
won a state kind of won the state championship, if you will, of theater lighting.
Yeah, now he's going to like
And
nationals.
yeah, and so now he's competing to essentially go to New York. And so I know we've kind of chatted about that. So that just started for him. So he's the schedule is super rigorous.
Yeah, a lot of hours.
A lot of hours.
It's a week-long program, a bunch of hours. But man, he's been showing me the cool stuff they're doing. They got to go to this warehouse because he does the theater lighting. So they got to go to this warehouse, and like this warehouse was like, okay, so if you guys are car people, this was like going to the Summit or Jegs, or if you're a girl, like a Kohl's catalog.
I'm sorry, babe.
That wasn't it.
That
Which one would
wasn't
we
it.
use?
I don't know, it depends on the girl, that's what's hard.
Target.
No, yeah, right,
But
Target.
like bigger, like Target Great Land.
Right. Like,
Ooh,
ooh,
I got the chills.
right. It's
Don't be trying to
crazy.
take that from me now,
But
Target.
yeah, it's pretty much the Taj Mahal of theater lighting, this warehouse, and
Yes.
they pick out all of the equipment that they need for this production that they're putting on, this 2-day production. And they go and they have to go there, pick it all out, pack it all up into these,
So it's the
it's
containers
like
that
a
you would see if you
case.
went and
Yeah.
saw a band or whatever. And these are like the containers
Right.
that you would see somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Possibly you'll see them. But like to me, I was like, these are,
Like the ones you see them pushing around with like the
they're
wheels on,
heavy,
like
dude.
those big cases, like the big trunks, I
Yep.
guess is the word I'm trying to say. Yeah. And they got to put them all,
Tons of them. Fill
tons
them
of
up
them.
with all this stuff and then go and take them totally somewhere else. And then
Yep.
they're going to be setting up everything
Yep.
completely like raw, just setting the whole thing up.
They have to unload everything, get it all set up, do
Yep.
the whole thing, wire it all in,
And they got to be
like
putting on a show
everything.
and doing like, is
Yeah.
that the end part where they're going to be,
Yeah.
it's
So
the
it's a
whole
2-day
big deal.
show
Woo.
that they put on next week. So after pretty much, I think they do, because they work right through the weekend and everything. So they
Yep.
do a full 7 days of prep and then 2 days of shows. And then that's it. So, and then they're done and they have an after party, and it's all pretty much student ran with kind of adult or professional supervision, I guess.
And then at
So,
that after party, they decide 2 out of the 5 people in his
in his kind of
group
group, right? Who's
are going to
gonna,
get chosen to go to New York
yeah,
for,
yeah, for a week, for all expenses paid and the whole
right.
thing. So very exciting for him. So I was talking to him this morning, even, and we're talking about even if he doesn't get chosen to go to New York, like he's already won. He's just really proud to even have that opportunity, and he's so excited to learn what
Right.
he's going to be able to learn here compared
Right.
to even the school theater and all that. So it's really
I'm
exciting
sure it's
time
going to
for him.
guide his life a little bit, right?
I think so. This is something that I know he's always pretty confident on what he kind of wants to do, right? But I think this is more figuring out what he really enjoys to do.
Well, right.
Yeah.
A long time ago, he was talking about still be this way, but like talking about space
Yeah.
and
Yep.
talking about wanting to be an astronaut and wanting to work for NASA and
Yeah.
whatever. And it's like now all of a sudden he's so excited about all
I
this, and he's
know.
like, maybe that
Hey,
was just like me being a little kid.
well,
Maybe
yeah.
I
Who
love
knows?
theater lighting or like lighting of all these kinds, like setting up
Right.
for a band or setting up for a
Oh, it's
concert, setting up.
so right.
It's way more than we know.
And it's so interesting to me how everywhere I go now, and I'll like look at lighting different.
Oh
I
yeah,
look at lighting different now that
yeah,
my kid has been doing lighting for a few
yeah,
years, and like,
yeah.
and he's told me different things, right? So you go and you actually, even like churches,
I was just gonna say
yeah,
that.
like they have a whole lighting scheme thing, and somebody programs all that. Somebody decides when those lights are going to
Yeah,
do that, with what song, what the cues are, all that. Somebody programs all that in
yep.
to make all that happen for every song. And I was like, and so I definitely look at it completely different
Yeah.
than I
So when
used
you see
to.
the lights and they're moving
Yeah.
all around, they're
Yeah.
sweeping back and forth, and they're like random lasers going all over the room. It's all programmed. It's
Yep.
all programmed ahead of time,
Yep.
and typically there's cues where you'll push some buttons
Certain
and get it kind of going
things
in
to
certain
go.
things. Yeah, it's been a really good experience for him.
Yeah.
He kind of took over the theater program, lighting program at school. He
Hmm.
basically took it over, and then he had some people under him that were learning from him. But even
Yep.
the guy that was running it, the adult that was running it, he's like, I've
Yeah.
never seen anyone like this
Yeah. He
come
really
through here
excelled
ever.
with it. Yeah.
Just
He really
like,
did. So
yeah, he had some good
when
things to
he's
say.
he's kind of like that, he doesn't necessarily do a lot of, well, I shouldn't say that. He does different things, but he does a couple things really intently,
Well, he's like me in the way that
very
if he's
specifically.
not going to like totally master something, he's
He's probably
probably just
not going
not
to
going
get
to do
into
it.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
he's good at video games and he's really good, and it's like there's
Right.
that, and
Right.
and that's the exact
Yeah.
reason that I don't play video games, is
Right.
because I know for sure that I would be like zapped.
Right.
I'd be hooked and I would be like the
Yeah.
best. Not I probably wouldn't be
No,
the best,
right.
but like
Well, nowadays you'd
there'd be
be
a
getting
Chinese
beat up
guy
by
that'll beat
some
me. I'll be number
9-year-old,
2.
right? Some 9-year-old in his mom's basement. Like that's what
Yep.
it would be.
But no, that really is it. I just don't play because I know that I would be the way my personality is. I would just,
Yeah.
when I was a kid, I
Play
played a
too
lot of
much.
video games.
Yeah.
Not like over a large amount, but it was just like too much. a lot.
You can get wrapped into them really easy, like, find yourself, like, not even realizing how long you've been playing for, I'm sure.
Well, in the technology of now, today's
Right.
games,
They
like I used to
just
play the NES, Nintendo, right? And I
Right?
was pretty good. Like I don't know almost everything about Mario 3. Almost
Nice.
because I know I don't know everything, but
Right.
I know so many secrets on the game. If we play that, I'm like, wait, you got to fly up and go left, and then there's a box. Oh, look,
Right. I'll go over
100 one
here.
ups. Like it's
Alright.
like, dude, we used to play
Yeah.
that just uncontrollably.
Yeah.
You'd have like
I didn't
magazines that had guides on how you do it.
I had a couple games that I liked, but I didn't play too much. My brother played for sure. But I had a couple games. I remember we had, what was the one? A Sony? What was the Sony one? PlayStation?
It was
It's the one with the discs. Do you remember?
it was probably PlayStation 1.
PlayStation 1,
Oh,
probably, and Crash Bandicoot.
oh, yeah.
That was the game, like, I really liked that game, I played
And
it a
then you
lot.
on Nintendo, I already know
Good.
your favorite game on Nintendo was Dr. Mario.
Dr. Mario. I do like that
She's
game.
like, let's play Dr. Mario. I'm like, let me play something I can win.
Yeah. It's the only game I win
She's
at
like,
either.
oh, Mario 3 again? And I'm like, what? It's like, this is the only
Yeah,
thing we ever played.
we got this, so we got this system now. It was like one of these
Oh,
things, right? It's
the
like a
best.
Sega, but you just plug it in and you don't change the games. All the games
It's all
are
built
just
in.
built in. And it's this, you just plug it in your TV and it's got even wireless remotes that you use. Well, after we've been playing it for a little while, every once in a while, we'll just plug it in and play some Sonic for a little bit or whatever.
Altered
And
Beast.
Right, Altered Beast, that's that name, the other game. And then after we've been playing a little while, we figured out this game you can actually there's a rewind button.
Is it on the same controller
the
or is it on the second
controller.
controller?
I think it's only on the first controller.
Okay. So yeah, you could play and then like let's say you fell in some lava.
Right.
You just
Lost all your coins.
push whatever button and it
And
rewinds. It
just go right
rewinds. It can
back.
rewind you all the way to the beginning of the
Yeah.
board. But it might just rewind, long enough to get your coins back that you just lost.
Yep.
Sonic.
Yep.
Dude, it would be like 90 coins and then it was like ding, they go everywhere. And then it was like, hold on. Okay, we're good.
Start over.
Man, I'm gonna make sure I jump over this guy now. And oh man, we
beat the whole game in like not too long, like a little over an hour.
Either way, you're finally
like,
able to get through some of these boards that you could never get through.
Yeah. Yeah.
Never.
So that was a kind of a fun little cheat code that we figured out there.
So that
was pretty funny.
What game system is that?
It was Sega.
That's Sega, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep,
but it kind of looks like the old original one.
Yeah.
But you just don't change out games. It just has that look. You just
it's probably
the
got
whole thing
40
in
games built in.
Yeah.
I think 35 of them are trial games that are just no good. But there is a few.
But they're just original Sega games.
Oh my gosh. It's like you play it and you're like, so what was ever even the point of this? Like, this is awful. And it's like this one has multiple levels and you're like, level 1.1 is just awful. How am I supposed to do this?
Yeah.
But no, video games.
Video games. So yeah, so he is graduated. That's where kind of and so we had a good time there. And what else did we do this week? We
well, this weekend we had tons of softball going on. So our daughter normally plays for this
city team, association
rec ball. Yep.
Yeah.
Gets you out there playing, having fun with some others
for summer. Yeah.
Well, then I think one of her friends is doing.
Yeah, a gal she had done some training with at one of her trainings that she does.
And you call this club ball?
Yeah, club ball.
That's what it's called?
Yep.
Okay, club ball. Yeah, and so she got invited to they basically were short a player because they had some injuries.
Yeah.
And hey, can you come and play this weekend? And it was like she was all excited.
Yeah.
Well, I want to play club ball. I want to try it. They want me there, right? They want me there.
Yeah.
So she went and tried that Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
Ended up playing, was it 4 games there? 4 games there Saturday.
Was it?
And then went to a different field for her other team that she was playing ball and played 2
more games. So she ended up playing 6 games on Saturday.
Which is just, we found out is too much. I think 4 is the absolute limit that we're going to let her do. That was just kind of
I mean, definitely isn't something that we intended to happen, nor is it something I think we would, continue to.
No, that was a one-time deal. And the coaches on the newer team know that, we've already signed up for the rec ball league. We're putting that first because
That
our
has
commitment is
priority.
there. It's got
Yep.
priority. So we're going to definitely do all those things ahead of the other ones.
Mhm.
But yeah, if she wants to play with the other team, think it's I think she's
Yeah.
having a good time. She went for practice last night with them, and
Yeah, they're keep inviting her back. So,
yeah, they keep inviting her back.
yeah, I don't think, and that was interesting. I don't know that we, we never really talked about club ball, or
No,
she
and
plays high school ball. She's done pretty well there. She's very competitive. She wants to play all the balls she can for sure. But it kind of was like, hey, can I help this team out? Sure. And then they're like, hey, we'd like
and
for
all of
her
a
to
sudden
keep
they're like, "Hey,
coming.
we like this one."
Right.
And it was
And
like,
so,
and so yeah, the cool part for us was like, yes, she's playing with like a little bit higher level team, and
yeah.
so iron sharpens iron. They're out there
Mhm.
doing well, and they did.
Yes.
She pitched an entire game
She
for them,
pitched the best I've ever
which I
seen
don't
her
know if
pitched
she's
for
ever
a
pitched an
full
entire
game.
game. Like she kind of gets a little wild, gets a little out there, and then they pull her.
Right.
And
She's a newer pitcher. She's only been pitching for a year.
yep, and she pitched for an entire game with the club
Yeah.
ball team, where they're like between 14 and 18 years old in there,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
did well. They won the game. They actually won the whole tournament.
They won. Yeah.
So
They
that
won
was
the
cool. I
entire
think
tournament. Yep.
that
It
was
was
good
really
for her.
neat. Yeah. So it was really, and it's good. I think for her, I know that she has started to kind of show a little less interest in like the rec ball. She's a little more competitive. I have no idea where she would get that from. She doesn't have two highly competitive parents at all. But
Who?
not right. Not talking about.
How does
Uh,
that pass down to your
right.
kids? I don't even get it.
I don't know if it's like, so I think that's that nurture versus nature thing. Really, is it something like kind of hereditary that is in your genes, or is it something that they, because they've watched us compete and perform,
Yeah. There's so
they,
much stuff that
know.
when you mold them from a baby to now, there's so much you don't realize. You're not looking at the stuff from a helicopter view. Just today we were
Right.
looking through baby pictures
Oh
and
my
small
gosh,
kid
getting
pictures from Brock growing up, and it was, oh my gosh, I could
so
not
cute.
believe all the pictures we found.
Yes.
And this kid's got long hair now, right? He's a long hair. And so all these pictures when he was small, and he was like this
Yeah.
short little blonde hair and this
Yeah.
little face
Little
that you
buzz
could
cut
always
thing.
see, and then you could see where the hair started growing, and it
Yep.
started growing,
Growing,
and
getting
it's
a little
long.
longer, a little longer, a little
You would
longer.
have never expected it to be where
No.
it's at now,
No. Yeah.
but he likes it. And I
Right.
don't always give him crap about it. I'm like, dude, what if he just like came home and it was like all of a sudden just like, and he's like, you wish. And I don't really
Right.
wish. I would like to see what he would look like with
I
short
know
hair.
he'll do it. I know he will. He'll cut it someday.
Yeah.
I don't know if he'll go like as short as your hair, or,
I hope he does
but
it and he sneaks up on me. I
oh
hope
my
I know
gosh.
nothing about this
Right.
and
And
he
it
does it,
just,
and I am gonna scream.
yeah,
And
just,
again, I don't want him to cut it. I give him some crap about it because I would love to see what he would look like with it short. But I
yeah,
like it.
yeah.
I like that he likes it.
Yeah, he likes it now, and I know he wants to donate it because he's never done anything to it. He doesn't color it. He doesn't,
No,
anything like that. So it's all virgin hair, and
somebody would
I
have a
know he
nice wig
wants to
out of that
donate
deal.
it. Yeah, he has hair that I would wish I had his hair.
Dude, could you get that and
So
make like a
thick.
curtain of beard hair on me?
No, I can't.
Just
I don't
weave.
have that kind
Can,
of
can you
expertise.
weave it into my
I don't know
beard?
how to weave.
Oh my gosh, it would be like a whole curtain that goes
I
across.
don't know how to do
Maybe it would
weave.
have like a slide where I could slide it to the outside for kissing time.
Yeah.
Kissing time.
Oh, you guys hear what I have to deal with sometimes?
Oh, we
I
keep
say
getting off
sometimes.
subject.
I don't know. Today's been kind of a weird one. We kind of
We're
we
just
kind of
talking.
like, we're like, all
Well,
right, we got to do a podcast. Let's go.
well, we didn't really have like
Um,
a too much for like exact outline of what we're going to talk about. It's like, let's just
yeah,
talk, get up
yeah.
here and chat with each other and talk about a little bit about what's going on right now.
Yeah, it's kind of been a whirlwind week, and we got more again. And I feel like I've been saying that every week for a little while,
That's okay.
but
Every
I
week
feel
is a
like
whirlwind.
it's been,
We just got to get through this week, and then we just got to get through next
yeah,
week, and then after that, we just got to get through
right.
that week.
I did have somebody say, I don't remember who it was, but they told me It doesn't get any slower.
Yeah, and that's all right.
From here on out, it doesn't get any slower.
Like, what do you mean? The kids graduated.
Right.
That
But
is that what you're saying? Like after graduating?
like just life in general. Like
Yeah,
life doesn't get any slower.
it's because we're in the fast lane, baby.
That's right.
Woo! Ric Flair, woo!
Claire, come on, come on.
Yeah, that's all right. You gotta
Yeah,
just
no, it'll be
embrace it.
good.
Embrace it, and
Yeah,
life
for
is good.
sure. Yeah, because we got our daughter's going to, well, I shouldn't say going to camp.
Just be a
She got
camp
hired,
counselor.
or yeah, she got hired as a assistant camp counselor. So
Yep.
they've got staff training week here coming up. So we gotta get her to get her to camp for a week, and then she'll come back, and then Brock will find out what he's got going on. And if he leaves and she's got a birthday, we got all kinds
Yeah,
tournaments and softball and
summer's gonna be over before you know it.
yeah.
But that's
That's
it's
it.
it's
It's
not.
always a fun
If we
time.
enjoy every day, at least as much as you can.
Yeah, it's a
And
good time.
then when in Minnesota, when summer does come to
Oh,
an
I
end,
know. I'm so
you got to
sad.
feel good that you did as much as you could. But I mean,
Yeah.
we live in a state where it's kind of brutal for not brutal, but it's like it's not awesome for about 7 months of the year.
Yeah, I think some people do a lot of winter activities that make it, if you ice fish, I guess. Some people are really into that. Some people ski. Some people play hockey, outdoor hockey,
Yep,
pond hockey.
yep. Hockey's a big one.
These are all things that I don't do any of.
No.
So it tends to be a longer 7 months for me
Well, and so what we found
because
is
I don't
if
do much.
yeah, we don't do much in the winter
I
as
don't
far
like the
as
winter that
activities
way.
go. And so last year we did a little bit of deer hunting in the fall, and that goes from
That took
September
us into
14th all the way
December.
until
Yeah.
New Year's or
Yeah.
New Year's Eve night
Right.
is the last night. And yeah, that to me it was like, let's just do this, let's embrace this, and it'll pass the time. There'll be some cold, not crazy cold, but
And that was it. It
let's
wasn't crazy cold. And it
yeah.
was a decent fall. Towards the end, I was like, okay, call me a wimp if you want, but a couple 3 hours and I was about done sitting
Well,
out
that's
there.
okay. You got to get in
Which
whenever
is
you
fine.
can. You never
Well,
know when the
right,
right time is going to be. So
right.
you just got to do it.
Well, and that's the thing. It's also not where I have to travel an hour and a half to get to my hunting land. I travel like 15 minutes, if that, by foot, and I'm sitting in my stand
Yeah.
from my door,
Yeah.
So that's always helpful.
Yep. But for me, that
Yeah,
was nice
it
pass the
was.
time, especially when you embrace it, you think about it, you study it, you do the
Right.
things. And it's like all of a sudden, New Year's. Whoa. I didn't even think
New
about
Year's
Christmas.
came.
Like here we are,
Yeah.
New Year's. Like, wow, that means that March, April, I mean, this is a lot closer than it was.
Right.
Yeah, I remember there was a time when I was in the hunting stand early on. It might have been September or early October, and it was like 86 degrees or 83
Yes.
degrees.
It was a weird fall that way. It got really warm for a
Right,
while.
right. So I got this camouflage Speedo, and so I was like, well, if I just have to wear camo, I just wore that day because it was
No.
like, I'm not looking to be too hot. The deer were
Could
hissing at
you
me.
imagine? Can you imagine coming? You're like going out to the woods, going for a walk or something. And
And
I
then
mean,
you see
luckily
me,
it's not public land, but
right?
still.
And I'm at full draw on just a big buck.
You're
You're
in
like,
a
he's gonna
camo
slay this buck in a
speedo.
camo Speedo from
He does
15
actually
feet up in a
have
tree.
a camo speedo.
I bought it for a joke, and I wore it a couple times.
Did you ever wear it?
I wore it in Cabo
Oh, that's
when we
right.
went down for my 40th birthday,
Yeah.
and I felt so weird. I was like around the pool area, and I was like, well, I'm gonna go get a drink, and I like scurry over to the drink deal, and I'm like, and then I seen Elliot. We had a bunch of friends there, and I seen him, and he was like, oh my
Oh,
god, it's
what
like,
are you doing? This isn't Europe
hedonism or whatever.
or something.
It's just like, dude, what are you doing? Oh yeah, but no, I thought it was funny.
Oh, it was funny. Well, originally bought it as a joke too, because we were taking my daughter and her friend on vacation. And so he was like, this is what I'm wearing the whole time.
I never wore
So
it.
no, you never wore it,
Mm-mm.
but it was
I
it
was like,
was one
I
of these.
can't.
It
No.
was totally a joke. But so yeah, good times there.
Yeah.
But yeah, also haven't at least my experience, I have not seen him in it in the woods either.
No, but I did think about that day. I was like, "Oh, that'd be funny."
So
You walk
warm.
out. I'm
He's
like, "Hey, can you,
getting a
babe,
tan.
babe, could you bring me a sandwich? I'm a little parched out here, you know." And then you come walking through, and
What are you doing?
you know,
Go running, scratched up, getting back there.
somehow your tree stand fails, and
Right.
you're on the ground, and you're
Your
like,
hiking boots, your
"This."
backpack, and your speedo.
Maybe this year I'll get to do that.
Carrying a bow.
Maybe this year, that would be funny.
Oh man, sorry for that
I
visual
also have
about
a
him hitting
unicorn
it.
costume that Trish got me at
Yes,
the
the unicorn onesie.
yeah, and you know what? I like to wear it sometimes. I actually have a really good time.
Yep, it's I feel like we need a name.
I like an alter ego when I'm wearing it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because there's really been quite a bit of experiences
It's
so
been like
far.
3 or 4 years that I've owned that thing.
Yeah.
We were golfing. I had it in a backpack, and then I pulled it out of the backpack when, I shagged this
Mhm.
ball like 900 yards off to the left or whatever. So I was over there getting it, and I quick put this thing on, and then I, grab my
Right.
ball, put
Jump
it
in
in
the
my cup
cart.
holder, and I get closer to the wherever you're supposed to be hitting it, and I chuck it. Hey, look, that's right. And no, and I was all of a sudden come out wearing this thing,
Oh my
and
god.
Trish and Jim are like, "Oh my god."
Here comes the unicorn on the golf
I'll be
course.
honest, that was my drinking days, and we were definitely drinking.
That
We can't even talk anymore about that day. That was crazy.
was a crazy day.
People do that every time they golf.
Okay, let's be real. Did we make it through 5 holes?
Um,
5 that
did we
day?
sign up for 9?
Yeah. Yes.
I think we made it at least 2 number 6. So yeah, I think you could say we made it through 5. Jim got the golf cart stuck. Jim's kind of an off-roader guy, and he just thought for whatever reason he was going to go down into a sloughy area,
And he was like, "Oh yeah, this will work out."
and it was like just stuck.
Just immediately
And
stuck.
so
So Brock's in a
I'm in the unicorn costume at this point still.
in a unicorn
Oh
onesie.
my god, I remember that, and it was like stuff got real, dude. And it was like, we got to
my
get
God.
this thing out because we were already warned once by the green master or whatever this guy was.
Groundskeeper.
Yeah, whoever
And
the guy
okay,
that seemed
so
kind of mad every time he was around us.
well, here's the deal. We each had our own golf cart. So we were
What
3
do you-
people golfing,
Hold on,
and we had 3 golf carts.
your tone says that that's not normal.
I don't think here, I will be honest, full disclosure, this is the first time I've ever been on like a real golf course, like actually golfing or trying whatever that was.
First time, huh? I mean,
I've
for
been to
me,
a
it was like
bunch.
number 3, maybe 4.
I've been to like a bunch of driving ranges or lily putts or like different events on golf courses that weren't like for real golfing or different whatever, usually like putt things. But no, that was my first time and
Yeah.
only so far at being on a real golf course. So I didn't know some of the rules either with my golf cart.
Oh, we
So
found out the hard way.
I did. So I got in trouble.
Don't drive it on the tee box. Don't drive it on the green.
I
We're
wasn't
like,
on the
oh.
green, but he was like, "You're supposed to stay on this area over here," and I was like, "Okay, I'm sorry, I honestly didn't."
And as he's
know."
pointing, I'm looking over at the muddy slough area, and it's like, okay, we'll try. I can't see straight at this point, but
Yeah, it was. Needless to say, it was fun, but nothing was.
That's the type of day where you look back afterward and you're like, you know what, man,
Probably
that was
the
probably
best
really
decision
embarrassing.
making process.
Yeah, and that's what leads a person to quit drinking is stuff like that.
Yeah,
And it's like someone
right?
quits. You're sometimes you think like, I wonder like how bad it got. Like what was the
some
deal?
people. And some people, it's maybe didn't. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, and some people it's
Like-
not like a problem. You're just like, just choose to not have it in my life. For me, I liked it.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
I kind of got wild. And so it was
just made
all
the
good
choice.
reasons to
Yeah.
stop, and I'm proud that I stopped. And I was just thinking about this when I was driving the other day. I was like,
Yeah.
it's been a year
Year and a
since
half.
I quit last New Year's, and I think I can go my entire life with never having a drop of alcohol again.
Yeah.
I guarantee I can go my entire life with never having one more drop. I could say that right now. Promise that. It's like, I don't want it. I even had some of those fake beers, the 0.0 beers.
Yep.
After I, stopped drinking alcohol, I was drinking those call them fake beers for a year. And, it kinda took the place of it because it was, like, still sorta tasted like beer. Well, it
Gave
tasted
you a
the
little
same.
right, maybe like a little psychologically
Yep.
right, like,
And it was just kinda like, yeah, whatever. It
bridge
was
the
this
gap
thing
a
like,
little
"Oh,
bit.
I can crack 3 of these in the evening," and just
No big deal, right, whatever, yeah.
yep. And so after a year, I was like, "You know what's the next New Year?" After so it's been a year after I quit,
Yeah.
and I was like, I think it's time to kick that habit to the curb too." Like, those are stupid.
Well, and they wouldn't be like as much as a regular beer, wouldn't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you're like,
Yes.
"Wait a second, that's not."
It's not helping. And so then,
Yeah.
like, if you go out to eat and you get a 0.0 whatever it is, it's yes, 4.50, 5.50, 6.50. I don't know what they all cost now, but it was like the
Yeah.
price of a
I don't even
regular
know,
beer.
right.
And then you're like, "Why am I what is what is the purpose of doing this?" I guess this doesn't make much sense. So I just decided that that needed to go away as well. And
Yeah.
so now it's like, water. Maybe Sprite. I kinda like something with some flavor. I don't
Yeah.
I don't love pop, but if I have to choose a pop, I think me and you like to choose, like, a little Sprite
Sprite
or
or
some
7 Up
cherry
or
Sprite.
yeah, cherry
Give me
Sprite.
some real cherries
Sometimes
in
I like
there.
cherry Coke or cherry Pepsi, like, really if I'm getting crazy that day.
I drink it.
Yeah, I never really I guess for me, like, alcohol, I'm not saying that I didn't enjoy catching a buzz and having a good time but I always struggled with it. It was made me pretty sick.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
like, next day or
yeah,
oh,
the next
no.
day or the night of, depending on how much I drank. So it was always like, man, yeah, it's all great and fine to put a bunch back. And plus, I'm a really lightweight. So,
A bunch is 1.5.
exactly, a bunch is like more than two. Anything more than two for me, I'm drunk. We'd go out for a night, everybody's, everybody wants to do shots or whatever. And I'm like, no, like I would just end up so sick every time I tried to hang. I just never could. My stomach was like, no, this is not for you.
That's not right.
And
No.
so it's not like I can't have a drink or two. And I enjoy a drink sometimes. I have a couple drinks that I like. I really like espresso martinis, but I can't drink them because of all the coffee. And generally, if I'm ever going to have a martini, it's not in the morning when
You don't start off
I
your
don't
day.
start my day with a martini.
Well, maybe tomorrow's a new day.
Like an espresso. I can just say I'm starting my day with an espresso,
Well, hell yeah, tomorrow the kids graduate in ninth grade. Let's get into some
right?
espressos. Well, I'll get into a Sprite.
Right?
I'll get my orange flavor I add to my water. I love it.
Yes.
Love it.
Yeah. But, other than that, but I guess I don't need it. I didn't, it just wasn't
Well, and then now that
like you
I
said, it
don't
makes me
drink,
so sick.
you're way less likely to
What am I
get a
going to
drink
do?
or find a drink of any kind. It's kind of like, well,
Yeah.
what are you doing? Yeah. And if you yourself think you have an alcohol problem, you know what?
Yeah.
You can make that choice at any time to cut down, to quit, draw that line in the sand,
Yeah. There's
you
nothing
know?
wrong with saying, even if you're just like, hey, I just don't want to do this all the time,
Right. For me,
Right.
the day I quit, I didn't even plan it out. I woke up on New Year's and I had like the night before I had
You had some good
3 strong
drunken.
Captain
Yeah.
Cokes, and then all of a sudden you get into a fourth, and when you get a fourth, you're in. When I'm saying strong, I'll kind of mix them like kill a horse type of thing,
They're strong, very strong.
Like Trish would never sip something that
Oh,
I was drinking. It
no.
was
And I like to sip martinis and I wouldn't sip his drink.
no, they were. I got used to something strong, some poison. And
Uh,
so, yeah, I'd get into 4, and the next day you're gonna wake up feeling rough. And I woke up and I was feeling rough, and it was just like maybe I had
well,
been thinking about it before
that's
that,
the
but
thing though too is I mean maybe you weren't thinking about it that day or in that moment, right? Or planning to do it that day type of thing. But you knew that I wasn't super happy about it.
right.
I had expressed that because it was to a point where there was at least one drink every night.
Oh yeah.
And then it seemed like everywhere we went, you would definitely get a drink. Every time we went to dinner, there's
And I
drinks.
and I definitely wouldn't like
And
run to the bar and get one if we were just
no,
gonna be there for like 30 seconds. I've seen people
no,
do that, and it's
yeah.
like, but I would pretty much if I'm ordering something, it would be
Yeah, if there was the opportunity was always taken type of
sure.
thing, I
Yeah,
guess. And for me it was just I felt like it did start to kind of change who I knew you as.
right. Well, and for me,
And
I noticed the progression, and I've said this in the past before, I've noticed it in myself, but it was like you drink beer,
yeah,
right? Beer, you have to drink a lot more volume to be feeling like that buzz, and then all of a sudden you're kind of going to mixed drinks because you're drinking less volume. Oh, I don't have to pee as much, and I still
yeah,
feel the same. Like these are all things I've said a zillion times, you know. And then unfortunately, if you find yourself going from mixed drinks to straight alcohol, and it's like, why do I need to get pop? Why do I need a mixer?
right.
And it's like you're
Just
just
drinking on the rock
pouring these
is
low
yeah,
boys or tall boys or
right,
whatever you're doing, and it's straight alcohol, right? And that's how I noticed. I knew that was like the progression. I've seen it in other people,
right,
and then when it's you, I think that you like find yourself with maybe an excuse. Well, no, that's like not always, or like, you know, those people are doing this like all the time. And I don't just like carry a bottle around in my jacket pocket.
right, right.
You know, I'm not that
Like,
bad.
it's like after I'm all done, it's my way to unwind. It's
Yeah.
how I what I want,
You can tell yourself whatever you
having a
want to tell
beer with dinner.
yourself.
And I think, yeah, everybody's gotta gauge their own situation, I guess.
You know, and so
Um,
that's how I noticed it went from like where beer was not in my repertoire. It was like, I want something that's going to do the job. And it's just how I knew I had a problem. And I would have never thought that I would have an alcohol problem. You know, some people will say like quit, right? Or they like the time after they quit, they got the shakes and they got problems. And
yeah,
like, I don't know
yeah.
how long that stuff lasts.
Right, yeah.
I do know that that's a higher level than I ever achieved. I was
Yeah,
never like
yeah,
functionally different like that. But I do imagine that somebody is at that level, you know, listening to me talk right now is like, yeah, well, you don't know what I'm going through. And it's like, I don't. And I'm sorry.
right.
But I hope that if somebody's at that level and they can at least either find help or just make a conscious decision to really take the reins on their life and put that away.
Yeah,
I challenge people to do it. I think it's the greatest thing I've ever done. And I heard that before I quit. It was like,
yeah.
oh my God, the greatest thing I ever done. And I'm like, seriously though, I've seen all you people say that, but like I'm having a good time. How can it be better? Like I'm gonna have
Right,
to face my problems head on. What's
right,
fun about that? And it's
right,
like it's not fun there,
right.
but
But
you learn and you grow.
yeah, I know I'm super proud of you,
I
you know.
appreciate it.
It definitely, because I think as a spouse too, it's something that we were what, 19 when we started dating?
I
I
think
was
something like
19.
that. Yeah.
I think I was
Oh
19, you
yeah.
were 21 or
Yeah.
something when we started dating. And so we've been drinking our
That's the
entire relationship together. So I think it was never a problem until it was a
yeah.
problem. And then and it wasn't like one day all of a sudden you just woke up and were having 4 drinks every night or whatever. It was a slow progression and
Yeah.
this and a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more
And you
and
just find yourself adding it to every event.
yeah, yeah.
And it's like,
Mhm. I think that's when I noticed that where it got my attention that I wasn't like, "Hey, this isn't just casual drinking anymore," is when it was like you were adding it to every
every
event.
event.
Every
What are we
event.
doing? Is
What are
it a
we doing?
birthday party? I'm bringing
Bring
whatever.
in my own
Is it
beers.
a kid's birthday party? Like, I would think, why is that different in your mind?
Right,
Like,
right.
it's still a gathering or whatever. And
It's a
like, I wouldn't
gathering.
even
Yeah.
think that that was weird. I do think that that's weird now. It's like, you know, a kid's party, maybe you could not. But like at the
Right,
time, I was
right.
like, what do you mean? Like, I was in a kind of a daze, I guess. It's just like so normal in your life.
Yeah, and that's right. And I think that I'm personally don't know, but I know that I've been told is a huge part of it is justifying your actions, right?
Right.
So if people are like, "Hey," bring it up to you and then you're like, "Well, it's a gathering." It's if you just really have to you're justifying it to them, but you're also justifying it to yourself
Right.
because you want to make it okay. That's part of an addiction or part of whatever that is.
You're trying to,
That it's
yeah,
all that thing
don't
and
want to be
people
somebody at fault.
right. Nobody
Well,
does.
and it's like it could go with the same thing for say like drinking and driving, right? You could go like,
Yeah.
I never get behind the wheel ever if I've even had anything at all. And then you're like, your judgment goes away, right? And after like a while, you're like, hey, you know, I'm pretty good at this alcohol thing. So if I just have to go over here, it'll be fine. I'm a little scared
Mhm.
about, problems, but I'm just
I
gonna
mean, I'll be fine.
I'm
I
just
only had
it'll be all right.
1, or I only had, or
And
I've
then
been yeah,
right, and then
right,
fast forward a while, you get,
justification.
like, more and more and more used to it, and
Yeah,
pretty soon, like, you're, like, getting drunk,
right.
and then you're not even thinking about it, and you're heading to whatever you
Getting in
gotta
your
do, or
car.
it's
Yeah,
like getting in your car.
uh,
That is a real thing.
it is.
And it's like you think you're just like totally cool or you're like above a certain level, but once you get good at it, you are above a certain level. You're just, you could say good at it.
Well, we're good at what, right? What are you right,
Well,
right,
good
I know
at
what you mean,
good at being able it's so silly to say because
right,
like if you're drinking, right, you're probably doing it so you can take the edge off and kind of like
masking your
relax
level
and
of
like
an
whatever.
yeah,
But then you're like trying
some
to also operate a car and you're like, why are you trying to mix it two? You should be like chilling,
right,
and you're like,
right.
trying to mix them and there's other people out there, man, and there's families on the road,
Mhm.
and
I'm really happy there was never, you didn't get to that point,
no,
and that was always well, I've always felt really strongly about drinking and driving,
yeah,
and you've always known that since you've known me,
well, right,
you
it's
know.
not good,
I've always felt super strong about it. Like I've called cops on people. I'll call the cops on my friends. So you're just staying. That's not an option. I will call you an Uber. There's just too many other options that you can do, especially nowadays
well,
with
if somebody
Ubers
was to
and
get in a
things.
car
And
like clearly way over the limit, dude,
yeah,
I've got
can't do
way more of
that.
a problem with that nowadays than I think I ever have because you got
I mean, we
kids
got a
on the
kid,
road,
right?
you got kid driving, there's major roads really close to us that we
Right.
and our kids drive all the time. And there's major accidents from people not watching, people on their phones, people,
And I've always
inebriated.
thought of it as such a like kind of a selfish thing. As far as like your right to go out and have a good time does not trump my kid's right to be able to travel relatively safely on the road
Right.
without unreasonable risk,
Right.
right? There's no you don't have to do that. My kid might have to go to work. You don't have to go get drunk and get in your car
Right.
and put other people in danger. That's not
Right.
a right you have,
It's a bad
you
choice.
know.
We all
Yeah.
signed that pledge in fifth grade dare. I hope you're all
That's
still
right.
upholding that.
Graduates. For sure. But yeah, I don't even know how we kind of got all the way over to that subject.
Well, our
But
brains operate like that.
they do.
Squirrel ran by.
Squirrel.
He was holding a Captain Coke, and I was like,
Mm,
hey, I had a thought.
hey,
I don't
remember
want
that?
that anymore.
Right. I don't want to do that. Finding winter stuff to do and
Yep.
that kind of thing.
You know what's been fun is I took a bunch of deer food, not deer food, but like corn and
Oh
different
yeah.
stuff, and I went and spread it around in the backyard. We have some old bike jumps, and um, they're kind of have tall grass on them now because they're not really getting used anymore. But we mow all around them. But I throw out just handfuls of this little like corn feed mix all over the place in the yard, and man, we're
Mhm.
getting deer like every day, every morning
Yeah,
throughout the
yep.
day. We're gonna see these. We see a few bucks with the
Yeah, little spikes
little
coming
spikes
up.
coming up, and it's like holy
Mhm.
cow, I've seen them all over the place, and it's
Yeah.
actually been pretty cool. I've seen two times in this last
Little
week
tiny
a
fawns.
mama with a little tiny fawn, and
Oh,
they could have been different ones. They very well could have been different ones.
yeah.
I think they were because the first one I saw, like this little fawn got across the road with the mama. It was right there with her,
Yeah.
but it was like there's
Doing
like a
pretty good.
foot tall. I'm telling you, the top of
So
his back was
small.
like 1 foot
Oh.
off the ground. Just the cutest little thing. And then just last night, yeah, I was on a test drive and I saw this deer cross the road and it was getting really close to dark, right? So I was being careful out. And I saw this
Yeah.
deer cross the road, and then I seen this little, like, some kind of a sight of something on the side where she had crossed from. And I was like, is that a little one? And this little thing got up and started tripping and falling and trying
Oh.
to cross the road behind mama. And it was like, did she just birth this thing on the shoulder of the road like a minute ago? Because it could hardly walk across the road. And it like finally got its stuff together and went over to toward where mama was. And I came to a stop and it went up into the grass like 6 inches off the road and just laid down.
Yeah, just
And
plopped
I
right
pulled
there.
up and I just like stopped right next to it and I
Oh.
looked out the window. I didn't have my camera with me and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I want to take a picture so bad. And he was just this
Yeah.
little spotted guy. Like I swear he was like
Just brand
just
new.
born on the other
Oh,
shoulder. It was like,
I love that.
yep, over
So
by the
cute.
hot rod factory. Anyway, I'm kidding
It's
like
all
that.
right. It's all right.
But yeah, so
Yeah,
some cool stuff going on around. So yeah, spread a bunch of food around the backyard and all the squirrels and birds and bunnies and deer, and they're all over there enjoying it. It's cool to see.
it is cool.
Yeah.
I like the nature. So fun. I saw these, you see these memes or whatever, and it was like, oh, you thought life was boring after 40. Well, I just saw 2 robins and a chickadee at my bird feeder. So
Take
take
that.
that.
Life
Oh,
after 40 is kind of crazy.
it's crazy. That's all
Yeah.
right. No, I
Somebody
think we
else
have a good
mentioned,
time though.
yeah, somebody else mentioned something about the amount of birds they've taken the love for. And it
Right.
was like,
It is
oh
something.
man, we've been talking about the birds lately
I
too.
know.
What's up with the birds?
Oh, I don't
Is
know.
it a certain age?
I
If
don't.
if anyone else out there
Right. When
kind of
did you start talking about birds?
attention 40 plusers.
Right. Do we need that? What is that? What commercial is it? Is it Progressive or
I don't know what.
with the where it's like don't turn like your parents?
Oh, it is
We
progressive.
might
Yeah.
need that guy to help
Oh,
us
look,
out.
grab the bird book. Got your binoculars.
Yeah.
I like those commercials.
Those
Those are
are
funny.
funny. Those are good ones. They make me laugh. I feel like I might have to stop though because they might start talking about us.
Oh, some of the stuff I go, what did they, what? That's a problem?
That's
Oh
an
no, I do
issue.
that.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. We want to do a couple of these questions before we wrap up.
Let's try them out.
We were talking about because we didn't know what we were going to talk about, so we didn't know if we would need some assist on some questions. But we're doing pretty good here, actually. We
Yeah.
filled up some time there.
Yeah, we got some. Hopefully, you guys are still listening and
conversation, but
things are good.
yeah,
Got your bird book on order,
right.
ready to talk birds on the next episode.
We did these on our first episode. These questions, like we got a bunch of random questions on these cue card things, and so we thought we didn't get through a bunch of them. So we'll try a couple again.
Yeah, we'll try a
Do you
couple.
want to choose them randomly or just go from the top, or what do you think?
I kind of put like ones on toward the top that I thought were maybe easier to answer, and the ones toward the bottom were maybe ones I had less of an answer for.
Right.
Somewhere toward the
All right.
top.
Well, maybe we should make this like we'll do like a question at the end of every episode or something.
Oh, that's a good idea.
We can
One question.
one question at the end of every episode, and
Yeah.
then
Get to know the host.
Yeah, but this is kind of
It's like we're trying to thank them for listening. Here we're trying to tell them more about ourselves.
Yeah. This is a good one though. I think this is a good one. We can do this one today. I like it. So it is, what's something you admire most about each other?
Something I admire most about you. I like how diligent and hardworking you are. Not to turn it toward like work, but I like how when you have a task that you kind of become hyper focused and you pretty much come up with a finish line for whatever you're up to. And so I like that about you. You're okay, so I could call it resourceful, call it whatever, but I like that you're very resourceful.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I try to be resourceful. I think what I admire most about you is your determination and willpower. Even like when we were talking about when deciding to quit drinking. Anybody who's listening out there, it is not, don't don't feel bad if you can't just wake up one day and decide you're just going to do this and then it's like done, because I have yet to meet another person who has that kind of strength, and it's not the first time that I've seen him do it with something in his life that's difficult or make a decision. It's kind of when he makes a decision and he knows, once he decides it and knows for sure it's the right decision, it's just a done decision.
That's it.
And yeah, I admire that a lot because I think that you never know what you don't have. You only know what you know. And I think that that's something that I think a lot of people would be very useful, including myself, that kind of willpower.
Yeah.
But it was kind of funny as I'm sitting here saying that, I'm thinking about something we've always said about little Brock and how stubborn he is. And pretty much once he makes a decision, it's made and it's done.
Even since he was a baby.
Yeah, even since he
it
was
was
a
like
baby. Yeah.
if he wasn't gonna do something, there was no chance on earth. Oh,
No.
a real funny one before we sign off. Maybe we'll just end with this.
Yeah.
So speaking of that, small child wants to play t-ball. Why are you laughing? Okay, I'll explain why.
Oh.
So we signed him up for T-ball. Maybe we wanted him to play. Maybe it was just like, let's get you into a sport, whatever it was.
Let's give him
T-ball,
a
right?
T-ball,
Just
yeah.
a bunch of sandcastle building
Yep.
maniacs.
Yep.
Oh, chicken nugget, dino nugget, eating
Oh, yeah.
son of a guns. And yeah,
So we get to the T-ball sign up, and not only T-ball sign up, they're like, we are in desperate
we can't
need
play this season unless we have coaches. And I was like, there's no way my son's not going to play.
I'll help
Right,
you
babe?
coach, babe.
Right, babe?
We can do this together.
Nudge, nudge. So
we were so oh,
we showed up first day. Oh my gosh.
we were ready for this.
Do
we
you
were
remember
like,
how far? Like how did he play for any amount of time?
I do think he at least went out into the field at least one time.
Oh
but
my gosh.
I don't think he made it through the entire first practice day.
He's maybe he did.
Maybe.
I don't recall this, right?
Maybe, correct. If somebody else was sure.
13 years ago. So, dude,
this was day one.
He decided, like we just talked about, once he makes a decision, he sticks with it. He decided he didn't like T-ball.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go back a minute, or if you want to reverse kind of to that little deal where we talked about we're going to coach this team.
Yes.
You know, and once we commit to something, we're going to do it.
We're going to do it. Commitments are, we follow through the end.
We coached the team.
We coached
the whole season, whatever it was. It's probably 8 weeks.
Probably
a couple months.
Well, yeah,
6
maybe.
weeks, 8 weeks,
8 weeks.
Coached this whole little team of macaroni maniacs.
Oh my God. The one of them just all full out.
She was trying to set the ball in the tee. This kid just whacks her with the bat.
I don't even think my hand was removed from the ball yet. And he just full blow and swings the bat, like 100% power, swings the bat. And I get just enough time to get my hand out of the way. And he ends up hitting me directly in the side of the thigh with this bat.
Oh, it's probably the best spot you can get hit, at least.
And it was so and thing about coaching Little League is the parents stay and watch.
Oh, why would they leave? No,
right?
They don't just drop them.
Go anywhere.
What if they need fruit snacks?
So now I have to the amount of control it took to don't swing
Aiden
until
or whatever.
I don't know what his name was. Yeah, who knows?
Just say a bunch of kids' names that our friends know.
Right.
Because they're that age, and that's Yeah, so we coached this entire season, and our kid never played at all.
Maybe, like I said, maybe he made it somewhat through the first practice.
We made him come to every one.
He came to every single one.
It's not like, we're going to get a babysitter so we can go coach a freaking team.
We thought, we'll just keep going and he'll eventually play. No, he never even flinched at it. Just sat on the bench the entire season and was like, no, I'm good.
So
determination.
So this is hope, right? If you've got a real stubborn one
like
this, stubborn
decisions in life that
you might get that award. What is that thing called again? The citizenship award, not a memory award.
Right. For sure.
Yeah. Well, it's good to be stubborn sometimes, right? It says you have an idea what you want, what your path is, what you got going on. What you demand. Well, hey guys, thanks for listening. This has been fun.
Thanks.
This was a solid, easy conversation.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it and hope you got something out of it. If you have any questions, as always, let us know. Drop us a line.
Yeah, thanks for all the good comments and everything. It's been fun.
All that jazz.
Yeah, hit us up. Give us some comments. Tell us what you think. You like it? We haven't heard a lot. We've definitely heard some good stuff, but we don't see a lot of feedback, and I get it. It's hard to go. People don't usually go back on and leave a little feedback, but if you got some feedback, maybe just leave us, thumbs up, thumbs down, but let us know.
Know how we're doing.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, guys, stay in that fast lane.
Thanks. See you next week.